In January, Villanova put on a shooting clinic in the Carrier Dome with an 83-72 win over SU. Today, the Orange look to return the favor. It was a homecoming game for Philadelphia native Scoop Jardine and Rick Jackson. You can see right here, Jackson gets it in quickly. He gets it from Joseph. He slams it home. The big man finished the night with 18 points. Scoop says, "It's my turn, big fella." He rocks his defender with the floater off the glass. He hits it and one. He gives a little stare down to the crowd as well. He led the way with 20 points. And right here, Villanova seems to have an easy layup, but Chris Joseph says, "Not so fast, young man." SU takes advantage of it. Scoop alleys it, and Jackson oops the dunk. The two teammates looking like they were in high school again in Philadelphia. Now right here, look at this. Beimu Sakeda is called for his second straight lane violation. He doesn't like that. Gently places the ball down, and that's good for a technical foul. Second half action now. Brandon Trish is wide open on the wing. He knocks down the three-pointer. This puts SU up by 7. Now Villanova, Corey Stokes is wide open. He rises up for the three. He pulls them within 1. Now in the closing seconds, they're only down by 3 points, but they cannot get a shot off. And Rick Jackson would go on to knock down all of his free throws. SU wins the game 69-64. Jamesville DeWitt's Dawan Coleman may follow his lead. The 6'10", 280-pounder is one of the top juniors in the country. SU is on his list of schools vying for his services. For now, though, Coleman is focused on winning at the high school stage. JD faced Cortland in the Section 3 Class A title game earlier today. JD head coach Bob McKinney looking for the school's 4th straight Class A sectional title. But early on, Cortland making sure this would not happen. This is Justin Hogan with the steal, and he kindly puts it in with 2 hands. Second quarter action next. Tyler Kavanaugh drains the 3 from the corner. Kavanaugh finished with 16 and was also named the tournament's MVP. Now second half action, it will be all Dawan Coleman. He gets it on the block and just bullies the Cortland defense. He says, "You guys cannot stop me." And the big man showing a little touch from beyond the arc. JD defeats Cortland 75-55. Coleman finished with a game high 26, 22 of which came in the second half. Now, Saturday was also an exciting time for the Janesville DeWitt boys lacrosse team. The Red Rams were looking for back-to-back state titles facing Garden City in the Class B championship game. Now, JD built a 6-3 lead early on, but Garden City clawed their way back to take things into overtime. And once there, the Red Rams would give fans a moment to remember. Jordan Evans, a sophomore, couldn't even see his score as he falls to the ground, but the reaction says it all. JD wins it 8-7. They celebrate back-to-back undefeated season, and get this, they have not lost in 44 straight games. Keeping it on the diamond, one of the most storied rivalries in all of sports resumed last night. The New York Yankees versus the Boston Red Sox. They met up in the Bronx last night for game 1 of their 3-game series. Boston with the 3-0 lead early on, and as you'll see, Josh Lester on the mound for Boston. If you close your eyes, if you're the squeamish type, John Lester nails Mark Teixeira, and he is in obvious pain. Teixeira would leave the game with a bruised knee. 5th inning now with 1 man on base. Big Papi David Ortiz launches it to right field. That gave Ortiz 32 homers against the Pinstripes in the Boston uniform, and they would not look back. Jonathan Papelbon leaves Alex Rodriguez swinging and missing for his 200th career save. Boston takes it 6-4. And nails it from beyond the arc. He paced the Heat with 21. Now, Jason Terry, one word, huge. He collected 19 first-half points, finishing with a game-high 27. Second half action, after going 1 for 12 from the field in the first half, Dirk Nowitzki, the pride of Germany, seals the deal. Some have called him not clutch, soft. They can add NBA champion to that list. Dirk, as he has done all series, comes through late in the 4th. The Dallas Mavericks capture their first NBA title. Final score, Mavs 105, Heat 95. Well, it was what you would expect in the matchup between Syracuse and Virginia. High pace and even a little physical. SU will prevail, however, in the end. After falling behind 8-7 at halftime, they used a 5-2 run in the final 2 quarters to come atop in the game 12-10. Tim Desko paced SU with 5 goals, and certainly a special night for the SU seniors, hoping to get their first win against the Cavaliers in their last 4 tries. And it was done in front of 14,340 fans here at the Carrier Dome, the 4th largest crowd to do so to catch a lacrosse game here at the Dome. Reporting live from the Carrier Dome, Jonathan Marshall, back to you in the studio. Well, John, I think it's still a work in progress. This year coming into spring ball, there's a good mixture of old faces and new players needed to step up and fill in some holes due to graduation. One thing head coach Doug Marrone talked about to the media earlier in the week was his guys making the same old mistakes. So one has to think maybe his guys came into spring ball a little complacent, especially after last year's turnaround season. But it's safe to say that message has gotten across today. The guys went through a pretty crisp practice. And one thing the guys have been talking about this week was more big plays on offense. Marone and offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett are really stressing making the offense open up a little more. Last year, they finished only above South Florida and Connecticut in the Big East with 182.7 passing yards per game. So guys like Van Chu, Marcus Sells, Alec Lemon, and Nick Provo are getting a heavy doses of deep balls from Ryan Nassib. So fans that don't may be treated to some exciting aerial displays in 2011. For the CBA girls lacrosse team, the season goal was clear.
The first day of practice, coach said to us, what's our goals this year? And someone yelled out, state championship.
Head coach Doug Sedgwick says what his team lacked in talent, they made up for it in heart.
It was shared across the board. 6, 7, 8 players, different players each time played that pivotal role in that particular game that we needed.
During the year, the girls also battled through injuries to top players.
We saw so many girls step up. Girls that would score maybe once or twice a game were now scoring 6, 7 goals. And to see that come out of them, it was really inspirational for the rest of us.
Through it all, they shared a moment that will last a lifetime.
It was our goal from the beginning. We believed in each other, and that's something special in sports. And unless you've played or participated, you don't ever get that feeling.
The fact that we're the only girls that have ever won, none of us even knew that. I think when people were telling us that, we're like, wait, really? Wait, this is even a bigger deal than we thought it was. It was just unreal.
Poverty, unemployment, street gangs, and the lure of the streets all are a reality for many inner-city teenagers, and so too for Syracuse Boxing Hall of Famer Ray Rinaldi. For more than 50 years, Rinaldi has used what some call the sweet science of boxing with the Golden Glove Youth Program to steer young people to a life where crime and failure are not an option.
These kids need a second chance, and they wouldn't get it if they're in the environment or in the streets. If I wasn't here or my kids weren't here, they'd be in the streets. Where else would they be?
Rinaldi's West Side Gym on South Geddes Street and his North Side Boxing Club on Pond Street are where young people of all ages go through rigorous conditioning drills and the old-time drill of sparring. An after-school program that's as much athletic as it is academic. Jimmy Garcia remembers how it was before Rinaldi rescued him.
Break people's window for the fun of it and just like I robbed a couple people. Like little dumb stuff that you don't need to do, but you just with a group of bad influence, you know.
Garcia graduated from Fowler High School, attended OCC, and now runs a daycare in the city. Like his boxing mentor Rinaldi, Garcia wants to give back.
I want to be like him when I'm his age, you know, because he wakes up and he's like doesn't have no regrets of what he do. That's the type of job he got, you know. I want to do something like that too.
At the Northside Gym, the image may be less glamorous, but the message is just as strong. Take, for instance, 15-year-old Taquana Johnson. She saw boxing as an outlet to let out her frustrations.
Before I started boxing, I was fighting all the time on the streets and stuff. I wanted something to get me out of it. My little brother boxes, so I was talking to the coach one day and he told me to come in, see if I like it. If I like it, I could stay.
Not only has Johnson stayed, she has excelled. Johnson is the state boxing champion in her age group. With college once being an afterthought, it now has become a part of her plans.
It was like in the back of my mind, but I was like, me doing this, I'm not gonna get there because I'm gonna end up dropping out, getting pregnant or something. So I was just like, I'm not gonna get there doing all this.
Many boxers dream of getting their big payday and a shot at world champion. But in both gyms, the main goal is success once the gloves are taken away and the bags start to slow down.
These kids is very important because you're the mentor, you're the teacher, you're the father, you're the mother, who knows, you're it.
The mentoring of Jimmy Garcia has helped him reach his dream of professional boxing. His junior middleweight pro debut was on April 15th in Albany. Instead of training for this big night, Garcia admits he could easily be somewhere else.
Probably in jail. Yeah, most likely I'd be in jail.
This gym does not save the world, but Rinaldi believes it can help change the lives of future champs, in and out the ring. Jonathan Marshall, NCC News.